This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations, please stand by. Hello, good evening, and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net for January 31st, 2024. This is a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1, Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron, Delta Oscar, Romeo Oscar, November, and I am this evening's net control. I want to thank, as always, Jim N0TRP for taking net control last week, I believe, on the 24th. So you all spoke about, it looks like, some calling procedures and operating procedures, propagation, HT selections, so some pretty good topics there. So we will continue those conversations and more, and we'll take your comments, questions, and anything else. We meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset. You can contact us via email, elmer@w0tx.org, and most social media at Denver Radio Club. That's to include youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. Our website should be responding quite a bit quicker for you, so w0tx.org for more information on our club, and you can find more contact information, email addresses, phone numbers if you ever want to get a hold of somebody. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? This is K1DBC Net Control. All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. That is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use I2 phonetics for the call sign and indicate if you have any traffic or questions as you check in. You can follow along with people who have checked in, w0tx.org/check-in, if you'd like to follow along with who has checked in, call signs, names, things like that. So this is K1DBC Net Control. If your suffix begins with letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Whiskey 0 Alpha Whiskey Sierra, Albert in Westminster, and no traffic.
Kilo Mike 4 Charlie Foxtrot Tango, Jonathan in Highlands Ranch, no traffic.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Alpha Whiskey Charlie Brian, Centennial, no traffic.
This is Kilo Echo 0 Alpha Bravo, Cannon Lakewood, no traffic.
Kilo 0 Lima Alpha India K0 LEI, Larry in Lakewood.
This is K1 DBC Net Control. Hold up there for just a moment.
W0TX repeater.
Net Control would like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins: W0AWS Albert, KM4CFT Jonathan, KF0AWC Brian, KE0 Alpha Bravo Ken, and K0LAI Larry. Thank you all so much for checking in. Once more, we'll take call suffixes beginnings with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the counter, if you have any traffic questions, suffixes A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood, no traffic.
All right, in that time we had KF0 FPI. Ron, thank you so much for checking in. I'm flip-flopping a little bit in how I'm doing this section here, but we'll do N through Z, November through Zulu. If your call suffix begins with the letters N through Z, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the counter, if you have any traffic or questions, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. Call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan, Lakewood.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Oscar Romeo Quebec, Sam, Littleton, no traffic. Alpha Echo 0, Yankee Romeo, Ed, no traffic.
November 0, Mike Tango Lima, Micah and Thornton, no traffic.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Hold up there for just a moment. There was a double in there at the beginning, but I heard KE0SUM Jonathan. Then we had KF0ORQ Sam, AE0YR Ed, and N0MTL Micah. Thank you all so much for checking in. If you did try to check in and I didn't call your call sign, try once more, please. All right, one more call. November through Zulu. If your suffix begins with the letters N through Z and you'd like to check in for the count, or if you have any traffic questions, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic questions, call suffixes N through Z. Please call now. All right, we'll open up the whole alphabet then. All call signs, all call suffixes. This is the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. It's a great place to learn about ham radio, STEM topics in general. And we have plenty of combined expertise. This is K1 DBC Net Control. I'm the Net Control Operator. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Alpha Fox 0 Echo, Alex Bromfield.
This is K1 DBC Net Control. All right, in that time we had AF0E Alex. Thank you so much for checking in. Once more, if you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name, And if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Might be a little bit of a quieter net. I certainly don't mind that time to time, but I can certainly bring up some stories and we can get the conversation going here. But this is an hour-long meeting. We have another 50 or so minutes. We're here to talk about your comments, questions, ham radio-related activities, any of their hobbies that might use radios and electronics and or other aspects of the hobby that you might discuss that we haven't before, or if there's any questions. So I'll throw it out to the group. I don't see anybody indicated they had any traffic questions, but if anybody does at the moment, anything else you want to share, please call now. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. All right, let me see. So just to cover recent things on our club. Again, our website doesn't look too much different. It looks a little bit different, but essentially it's running on a new hosting platform, which is much quicker, much faster. So, and because of that, we're starting to utilize it quite a bit more. So, Mark Thomas N0XRX has put out some news stories that you can find at the top of our the webpage here that it scrolls through. Rocky Mountain Convention wants you. Let's see, they're excited. Upcoming convention next July 12th. Friday and 13th, Saturday, St. George, Utah. So if you'd like, if you have a great idea, interesting topic, or a prepared presentation, go to the convention website, hamconzion.com, and click on presentations and scroll down to want to host a presentation. So they're looking for a wide range of topics that will be of interest and value to the newcomer, the inactive operator, and the more seasonal ham radio enthusiast. Be part of the future of ham radio and send them your information. So that's really awesome to see that. So hamconzion.com. Let's see another article. Mark had put up on here. W0TLM. They are another local club. We don't often talk about them, but Tri Lakes Monument Radio Association. I forget which part of Colorado exactly, but they are a Colorado club. So let's see an article here about ham radio technician class, February through March 2024. So they'll have they're kicking off new test sessions and things like that. So W0TLM.com for more information on that. All right, what else here? FCC renewals for amateur radio license. Mark had put an article on that. Excuse me, drop for a moment here. So as you know, your license does expire, every 8 or 10 years, something like that. So you don't have to think about it too frequently, but Mark recently received an email from ARL reminding him that his license was up for renewal and was kind enough to provide him with the steps to renew. They're now a $35 charge, as we've been speaking about over the last 12 months or so, to renew your license. Let's see. It's just some tips and tricks he's put on here. If you're not a member of the ARL, it might be a good time to join. Make sure you have your FRN and password. Let's see. You need to create a CORS account on the FCC website. You'll need to link that to the FRN account, and then you can start the renewal process using the ULS license manager. So a few acronyms there, initialisms, but don't wait until the last minute to do this, as you might have to call them for help. You can renew a license 90 days before it expires, so you should have plenty of time. So take your time and follow the instructions on the ARL website, and it should work out there for you. Let's see, there's a few more I can bring up, but just in quick succession there, that was the ARL Rocky Mountain Convention is coming up July 12th and 13th, St. George, Utah. training classes for a technician in the Monument area, I believe, of Colorado W0TLM.com, and then some updates on the FCC registration process and some tips and tricks. So there's a few more I can bring up and a few other things I can bring up. But anyone else at the moment, either comments, questions, any other check-ins at the moment, please call now.
Comment KM4 CFT.
Yeah, Jonathan, KM4 CFT with a comment. Go ahead.
This is KM4 CFT. Since we're on the topic of events, this is some people probably already know this, but I'll go ahead and just let everyone know. Sunday, February 18th, there is a swap fest going on at the Adams County Fairgrounds. It's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It costs $6 for admission. I think it's being done by the Rocky Mountain Ham Radio Club or something like that. They also will be having VE testing, and I ended up getting a poster about it at the last event that was like a week or two ago. But I can send Daron that information if he wants to share it with anyone.
Perfect. Thanks there, Jonathan. CFT, I think I did find it, the Rocky Mountain Ham, rmham.org/swapfest. It looks like Adams County Fairgrounds, as you mentioned, there are the 18th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, yeah, awesome to see that. I think we recently talked about this in our board meeting. I think this was maybe the Swap Fest from the Aurora Repeater Association, potentially, and the RM Ham, I think, has taken over that. But I think that's the case, but don't take my word for it. But, yeah, thank you so much for that on that. rmham.org/swapfest. So, yeah, thanks for that. Cool upcoming, Swap Fest. Come buy some things, sell some things, and just check things out there. So, yeah, good to know on the VE testing as well. So, thanks for that, KM4CFT. This is K1DBC. Let's see, I'm just looking at the poster here. Yep, apart from what we've already said, the Adams County Fairgrounds, the date and time, the 18th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bring your HT and explore fox hunt opportunities on a course set up on the grounds of the adjacent Adams County Regional Park. So that should be a pretty interesting thing to do. I know we have some folks in our group who like to do fox hunting and amateur radio direction finding. So that'll be an interesting thing to be able to do during a ham fest. So yes, and I believe DRC will be there with our table and booth. So we love to see you guys and gals at all of the ham fests and swap fests. So we'll see you out there. This is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call out.
AB8WN Alpha Bravo 8 Whiskey November, Pete Narvada with a question.
All right, AB8WN got you checked in with a question there. The net is yours. Go ahead, Pete.
Awesome, thank you. Well, I got a new handheld that does C4 FM, and I was looking at kind of like an open spot or something like that. Really, I want to get a pie and get a hat for it that'll do it, but I had a question. Is it worth it to get something like that? I know we have a couple digital repeaters. Can it connect up to that? How does that work? Can it connect to this one? And just wondering how all of that kind of works, because I've never really dealt with anything digital and amateur radio for the most part. So just wondering how all that works together.
Great question there. Yeah, that's a whole topic there, digital radio, which is awesome to hear there. So, very quick information on that. Hotspots are optional, but they basically free up the repeater. And or if there's not a repeater, you can use a hotspot attached to your internet. If there isn't a repeater around, you can use it. And if there are repeaters around, at least it frees it up, and you don't have to use the repeater for it. It's similar to any of the other protocols, DMR, D-Star, System Fusion. That's kind of what the hotspots are for. And then you can do cross-mode digital modes with some of these, potentially in the software. with Pi-Star or the open spots. You can cross between C4FM and DMR Brandmeister. Our repeaters don't necessarily crossband repeat with digital modes, but ColoradoDigital.net has a really pretty good linking system between a lot of different modes here in the area. So even if you want to go straight RF from your radio to a repeater, that's at least available now here in the Colorado area. So that's just kind of the brief information that I have on that. If anyone else has any comments or questions on that, or Pete, if you have any follow-up, go ahead.
Nope, just wanted to, like that, see what was going on with it and get some more information, so appreciate the additional comments and like that. If anybody else had anything, would love to hear it. Otherwise, this is Alpha Bravo 8 Whiskey November, back to net.
All right, sounds good. This is K1 DBC Net Control. There is a digital learning net that actually occurs, I think, at the same time that we do this net here. So Wednesdays at 7 or 7:30. But KE0DC, Doug, hosts that, and they talk all things digital and have been for quite a while. So they have a lot of information on there. So ColoradoDigital.net, he runs that net for, I think. So a pretty good resource there. So him and Bill Buckwalter, Bucky, W0SM, I think he's been a part of our club as well, is involved with that. So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff there. I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else on digital repeaters, Brandmeister, C4FM, pros and cons of hotspots? Go right ahead.
Comment, SUM.
Yeah, Jonathan, SUM, go ahead.
Well, I'm glad you gave a shout-out to that, because people ask me all the time about digital, and I'm not a digital person. I do understand and know how it works, and I have Jesus, so I'm familiar with all that, but it's just not, I'm not interested in it. So I'm not knowledgeable in it. By that, once that happens, if you're not interested, how much are you going to read up on it? Not much. But you're exactly right. The digital learning net is on opposite you. I think it starts at 7, and Bucky, I know Bucky, he's great, and he comes to the store, and I've also talked to him on the radio, and he could answer any question you have about wires X, and he explains it so easily. It's just the best thing I've ever heard. So I'm glad you gave those guys a shout out. KE0SUM, back to net.
Comment, KM4CFT.
All right, sounds good there, Jonathan, SUM. Yeah, absolutely. Doug Comer, check out his YouTube channel. I think it's youtube.com/KE0DC. I think he's live now. So, yeah, appreciate that. And then we had CFT, Jonathan, with another comment to follow up. Go ahead.
This is KM4CFT. Just wanted to add the digital learning net is at 7 p.m., not 7:30, so it's half an hour before this net. It's on the various different, it's on DMR, Wires X, Yaesu System Fusion, and D-Star. I have a C4FM capable device, but I never use it, so I don't know much about C4FM or Wires X. I understand DMR and D-Star a little bit better. However, since if you don't know how to get on, it also says, according to my paper, that it's connected to the SkyHub Link system, which is a linked repeater system that's throughout Colorado, I think. You probably know it better than me, but if you look up SkyHub Link, you should be able to figure out a way to access that system, and that should get you on. And also, I do recommend anyone to at least try getting themselves a hotspot. It's just a fun little project to do. It's just a Raspberry Pi and a little hat that goes on it, and you can use that instead, and that's all I got. Back to net.
ABAWN.
All right, thanks for the follow-up on there, Jonathan. CFT, yep, all sorts of ways to get into that net there. Brandmeister, WiresX, Hotspot, D-Star, TGIF, DMR groups online as well. So lots of cool stuff there. Then we had AB8 WNP. Go right ahead.
First off, thank you very much for all the information. I've got the YouTube site up. I found the the net there and seeing it live and everything. Really appreciate all the information and stuff like that. CFT, I think you mentioned the project with getting a hat. I kind of looked around and I'm not sure about which ones to get or anything like that. I've got pies lying around, but does anyone, either you or anybody else, know a good hat to get to do that type of thing? Because I kind of like making it myself and having that fun little project. AB8WN, back to net.
Comment KM4 CFT.
Comment with that CFT, Jonathan. Go right ahead.
This is KM4 CFT. Yeah, if you want to build your own, my setup right now is a Raspberry Pi. I'm getting a little bit overkill, and I'm using a 3. And for the hat, you can look on Amazon for something called an MMDVM, Mike Delta Victor Mike. There's tons of them, and all it does is give you allow the Pi to have the RF capability. You can find them, and some of them require a little bit of soldering for like the header, something too complicated, or just like a simple soldering project. I think it's not that complicated. And then what you install on the Raspberry Pi is something called Pi-Star. But if I were you, I would get myself a Raspberry Pi Zero, W at least, and the MMDVM, and you connect them together and install Pi-Star, and there should be tutorials online on how to set it up. It took me a little bit of playing around to get it to work, and that's all I got. Back to net.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yep, I'm trying to find some information here. I'm a little bit scattered at the moment, but yeah, MMDVM and Pi-Star. You can find, some solder and solderless kits and just a hat to install onto a Raspberry Pi and things like that. So there's plenty of options on there. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Let me drop here for a moment. This is K1 DBC Net Control. There was a question in there on our YouTube at least about digital repeaters about of our 310-804 digital Brandmeister repeater being linked to this our analog repeater. I don't think it's been linked in the past, but if someone's done that independently, let us know. But we would certainly be happy to help you with that and make sure that that link is up correct. So. If anybody knows anything on that, let us know, because we'd love to start to use our 310-804 DMR Brandmeister repeater as a link to this repeater as well for this net. So this is K1 DBC net Control. Anyone else on the topic of digital radios, hotspots, anything like that? Go right ahead. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. In terms of these MMDVM hotspots and Pi-Star to connect your digital radio to connect up into digital networks, the second project that we were talking about, MMDVM, you shouldn't be looking much more than $50 or so, really. Anything else probably includes a Raspberry Pi. So if you already have a Raspberry Pi, you should be able to just buy this hat and maybe a case for it and the antennas. So just look out for those things. It shouldn't cost too much, and it's a really good entry point for this. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else at the moment? Otherwise, I'll probably take check-ins here in just a minute. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. If you've just tuned in, this is the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Great place to learn and discuss ham radio topics, STEM topics in general, and we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is K1 DBC Net Control. We're taking all check-ins. If you'd like to check in, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. One more call at the moment. Let me check in. We also had Michael online, KF0MCM. I'll get you checked in on here. Anyone else at the moment would like to check in? Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Time in 8 p.m.
All right, nothing heard. I'll take check-ins a few more times throughout the net. We have another 30 minutes or so. Appreciate everyone's conversations here. Upcoming swap fests, February 18th, Adams County Fairgrounds. We were talking about open spots, hot spots, digital C4FM, Brandmeisters brought up the Colorado Digital.net group as well as their Learning Net happens at 7 p.m. On Wednesdays. So if you have any questions on that, let us know. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else? Other comments, questions, check-ins at the moment? Please call now.
Question, November 0, Mike Tango Lima.
N0MTL, Micah, go right ahead. The net is yours.
I was just wondering if I've been kind of seeing a bunch of stuff pop up on my YouTube feed and some other feeds like Facebook and stuff about mesh-tastic devices, and wondered if anybody's played with those here locally and if there's any ongoing meshes, or is it pretty sparse still at this point?
Good question there. Mesh static. Yeah, I have been seeing that in my feeds as well. I think these are LoRa devices. I believe I might be wrong on that. LORA. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. But I think it's a licensed free spectrum for connection of devices for low bandwidth needs and over long ranges. So. Yeah, there's been a lot of things on those in terms of devices.
Again, more meshy.
In terms of just messaging services and off-grid capabilities and things like that. So, yeah, I hadn't checked into it too much, but anyone else on Mesh-tastic or that technology, go right ahead.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yes, it is based off of LoRa, long-range radio, I believe. I forgot the exact the name there, but basically meshtastic.org, and you can see an introduction on their docs. It's a project that enables you to use inexpensive LoRa radios as long-range off-grid communication platform in areas without existing or reliable communications infrastructure. It's 100% community-driven and open source. So long-range, 254-kilometer record reported. No phone required for mesh communications, decentralized communications, encrypted communications, excellent battery life, send and receive text messages, optional GPS, and more. So similar to what sounds like APRS, an extension of that, but within devices that are in the Spectrum 3 zone, I believe. It's widely accessible in most regions without the need for additional licenses or certifications. They're designed to rebroadcast messages they receive, forming a mesh network. Setup ensures that every group member, including those at further distance, can receive a message. So I have not played around with it, but yeah, LoRa and mesh stuff has definitely come about in our hobby a little bit here recently. But anyone else on that, go right ahead. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, the general emergency preparedness community now has a really good tool in their tool set for decentralized radio communications, license-free over long distances. So a really cool project. If you're interested, check it out. Again, meshtastic.org. All right, MTL, yeah, if you have anything on that, or if you've purchased anything, or look into any projects on that, yeah, let us know. If you have anything else on that, go right ahead.
And he's got a lot of intro videos on how it works and how to set it up, and he's got a couple of builds for solar stuff. So I just haven't really found out if there's much going on in this area or not to make it worthwhile getting into.
LAI.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I think I cut you off there just at the beginning, Micah, but I think you maybe mentioned a ham radio crash course, has some information on that. I'm looking at that here. And then we had K0LAI Larry. Larry, the net is yours. Go ahead.
So Douglas County, Aries has been using LoRa for APRS, and they have some hardware that they come up with that works the best as far as they're concerned. And a couple of folks in the Jefferson County areas have started to add to the network. And so they're trying to build a LoRa APRS network here in Colorado, starting out in the Denver metro area, then expanding out from there. This is K0LAI, back to net.
All right, very cool stuff there, Larry. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, it looks like right on the top of their webpage, aresdec.org, aresdec.org, on the right-hand side, LoRa APRS, and gives some pretty good frequently asked questions of what is LoRa APRS, who can experiment with it. Let me drop here for a moment. Yeah, as we were kind of alluding to, talking about there, it's in the unlicensed radio spectrum, 433 megahertz, 868 megahertz, and 915 megahertz ISM bands. So it's combining that technology with unknown technology, APRS, so that's really awesome to hear. And how is Aries RD15 using it? They're using it primarily experiment with GPS tracking. GPS tracking via LoRa is accomplished via two device configurations, iGate and LoRa PCB board, and then everything's reported to APRS-is.net. Some Aries R1D5 members have LoRa iGate set up their home, some of their vehicles. Trackers and iGates are becoming part of the best communications practices to effectively assist their served agencies at running events, bicycle events, and off-road motorcycle events. Where there's no internet available, the iGate can be programmed to function as a decoder that passes position reports to a receiving station using Pinpoint APRS software, and that is free to download. So, yeah, it looks like it's being quite utilized, at least for APRS potentially, Micah, and anyone else who's interested for ham radio at least. So, yeah, aresdec.org. Very neat. Thanks there, Larry K0LAI. Glad to see this is finally starting to bleed over into the ham radio realm. So, very cool stuff.
LAI with another comment.
Yeah, K0LAI, go ahead.
It's K0LAI. So the Pinpoint software for APRS, that was also developed by AresDec, down in Douglas and Elbert counties. Back to net.
Oh, wow. Very interesting to hear that. So pinpointaprs.com looks like the website. Labor of Love, Frank AB0WV. Let's see. It's a free software that allows you to visually track and communicate with people using ham radio equipment. During an emergency, it can be used as location awareness, tactical communications tool. Mostly used as a tool for tracking people and assets on a map, but it's capable of doing more. For instance, a weather spotting event, an incident commander could visually track where spotters are deployed in the field and direct them away from approaching weather using an area on the map on a computer screen. So a lot more information on their website, but yeah, really awesome to hear that. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. So I'm going to drop once more here. So yes, LoRa radio, LORA, is really the technology behind all of this. Long-range radio, again, in the ISM bands, again, quite a long distance away. In a lot of the civilian world, it's used for some telemetry and information. Maybe in agriculture, you can set one of these up with a battery and have it run for quite a while and report back different information, as we're also seeing it in our realm a little bit. Emergency preparedness and communications for normal civilians, as well as awesome to see it being combined with APRS. So in places where there's no internet access, we can still have situational awareness quite a lot more than we would have without internet or good coverage. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. All good stuff here. Anyone else on the topic of LoRa or Meshtastic, license-free off-grid communications, or anything else? Please call now.
LEI again.
No problem. K0 LAI. Larry, the net is yours. Go ahead.
This is K0 LEI. Speaking of doing APRS, I got a message today around noontime. Somebody sent a message to my mobile unit while I was driving, and I couldn't answer them until I had stopped, but I did. But I noticed that I had a message sitting there that I hadn't looked at yet, and it was dated in July of last year, and it had come through an APRS satellite. I don't have the call sign. I have to look at it again, but it came through the APRS satellite, which I forgot that they are up there now. And so that's another way you can get messages to and from when you're out in Nowheresville. This K0 LAI, back to net.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, I hadn't see that on my end recently. Any messages coming through my APRS, but that's it's something to see. Yeah, I know the ISS famously repeats APRS packets, I think, or maybe I'm thinking about something else here. But yeah, there's plenty of satellites that have capability for APRS too. So yeah, a lot of options for that. Really cool stuff.
At KM4CFT.
KM4CFT, Jonathan, and that is yours. Go ahead.
KM4CFT here. There's also, I found out today that you can also text using APRS. Originally, you could use something called this SMS gate, SMS GTE, but that got shut down, I think, due to spam reasons. Today, YouTuber Ham Radio 2.0 posted that there's a new way of doing that. If you go on his YouTube channel, there should be a tutorial on how to set it up. It requires you to opt in to opt in the phone number, so you can't just text anyone. You have to make sure they've been opted in first. So I opted myself in, and I opted my mom in so that I had someone in for emergencies. But I thought I would let everyone know about that, and it's quite useful. I find that way more useful than just simply sending location information back to net.
Very cool stuff there, Jonathan, CFT. I was just looking that up there. Ham Radio 2.0 is a video from 6 hours ago. Unleashing the power of APRS with SMS messaging, new SMS gateway. APRS.wiki/SMS it looks like the opt-in form there. So yeah, thanks for giving us some information on that. Yeah, I know the SMS gateway had to shut down, unfortunately, due to spam, I think is what you were mentioning there. So it's good to hear there is a way to text message through APRS, kind of legacy APRS again here. So very cool stuff here.
LAI.
Yeah, LAI, go ahead.
This is K0LAI. This opting in thing was something I suggested to them about a year ago when they had shut down, some kind of a registration thing in order to do it. So hopefully this won't get abused. I was going to have them register just call signs to do it, to transmit. And but I'll take a look at this registration thing. This is great news, actually. Thanks for bringing this up on the net. That's excellent. K0LAI back to net.
Excellent. Yep, absolutely. Thanks there, CFT Jonathan. Again, the website, aprs.wiki/SMS. I have a recent video by Ham Radio 2.0 as well. But aprs.wiki/SMS. Opt-in system only. So you'll only be able to receive and send text messages if you opt in. And that way, hopefully, as Larry was maybe speaking about there, it would keep down on the spam. And I'm sure that anything that hits the public switch telephone network is under a lot of strenuous, yeah, you all see what I'm saying. So keeping the spam down. So this is awesome to see here. So thanks there, Jonathan, CFT, on that. Anyone else? Any comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now.
WD0 CIB, WD0 CIB. Charles and Denver, no traffic and check-in.
All right, Charles, WD0CIV, got you checked in. Thank you so much for checking in. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We have another 10 minutes or so here. Net's going pretty quickly here. Appreciate everyone's lively conversation. With that check-in, we'll take check-ins officially once more here. If you would like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. All right, in that time we had KF0MCM. Mike, got you checked in. Thank you so much for checking in here.
I just wanted to say that the website is working beautifully tonight. Comcast here in Denver. Bravo to staters, whoever administered that. EMR Brandmeister support page is fairly comprehensive, well done. Love the fact that they're pointing to certain EMR radios as being the Good job. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Glad to hear their MCM on the w0tx.org/DMR site. Yeah, I think that's Bill or W6OAV, I believe, has posted that information on there. So, yeah, if anybody's ever interested in understanding some of the basics of DMR Brandmeister or talk groups, etiquette before keying up, operating etiquette, using a hotspot, and all things like that. Yeah, really good information on that. So your signal was a little choppy there, or there was a little bit of noise on your signal there, Michael, but I did get you in there. So yeah, thanks for checking in on there on the DMR site there. Appreciate it. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. And if you're not aware, Brandmeister has a webpage themselves, brandmeister.network. And we have that embedded in our page here. But basically, you can look up any DMR Brandmeister repeater and see who's checked into it or who's tried to key it up. You can also listen to it as well. So pretty cool options there on their website. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. Anything else? We're under 10 minutes or so. Please call now.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Let's see, a couple of weeks ago we had our meeting. Didn't go exactly as planned, but worked okay. It was, we had a recorded session, wasn't live, but a session by Karen Thompson, KD4DXX, on the topic of RT systems. So hopefully we'll have a live version at some point again in the future, but that video is available online if you'd like to view that. I will need to update the page, but our next meeting is going to be the 21st. I forget exactly what it is, but I think we have it booked in already. So yeah, more information on our website, w0tx.org. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's net? Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Let's see a couple more things on off front of our webpage here I could bring up here real quick. Similar topics to what we were talking about there a little bit. Let me see, RMHAM University, upcoming Nerdfests and vehicle poster systems. Excuse me, let me drop here for a moment. Vehicle power systems, everything you wanted to know about vehicle power systems, but we're afraid to ask. Alternators, batteries, voltage boosters, best practices for wiring gators to vehicle electrical systems, March 9th, and then April 13th is 3D printing. So over on their website, rmham.org, you can find more information about the Rocky Mountain Ham University. Let's see, briefly, we could talk about the DRC Saturday events. I know that those were pretty popular last year, so those are back. w0tx.org/DRC Saturday or under the events. Let me see, April 27th, May 25th, July 20th, August 31st, and 31st and October 5th. We had great time last year, so we'll be doing a build day. Will be the first one. We'll be building a Pico balloon on the second event there on the 25th. Parks on the Air, Bar Lake State Park on the 20th of July. Colorado QSO party on the 31st of August, and DRC campout on October 5th. So most of these will be taking place at the, let's see, yeah, right on our webpage. It has all the locations, and if it's not there yet, we will make sure it's there. So a lot of things over at the Prospect Park Arena, but yeah, check that out. So yeah, we'll love to see you guys out there. Let's see, and last but not least here, another article here by Mark Thomas, N0XRX. Another event, Get Out and Play Radio is what they call the activity. 2023, early October, himself, KS0E Alex, and his son Josh, N5XRX, wanted to see if it was worth getting away from the city to an area that is somewhat difficult to find and go play radio, as it were. So he has a pretty cool write-up and some pretty good photos of their experience and operations there. So let's see, just a little bit of text I can read on that here. Once they got all set up, they found the RF noise floor was extremely low, if non-existent on HF. Alex, KS0E, worked a single sideband using his DX Commander vertical antenna. Josh, N5XRX, utilized a buddy pole on 20 meters, working FT8. And Mark, N0XRX, was using a mobile vertical on single sideband and played around with WinLink email. Everything was on battery power, and they all made lots of contacts. So some pretty cool photos and some pretty good information here. So this is just another in-person event that we can help host. It was a little bit, it was just unofficial last year. It'd probably still be a little bit unofficial this year. But if anybody is interested in this type of event, let us know, and they'll invite you to it again. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. We have another 4 or 5 minutes here for the net. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I can certainly bring up a couple more things here, but we might start to wrap the net up here. But any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's net, please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'll bring up a couple little things here, and then we will wrap things up. Okay, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Over on reddit.com/r/amateur radio, a user had put up a post on titled currently on display at the Whitney in New York City, Life and Property, Cameron Rowland. Give me a second here. Not a political topic, but it is a, let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to find a zoomed in information here. Basically, it's a rack of radios able to monitor the New York police, New York City police radios. So this is set up as an art exhibit. And I'm trying to find the better information here. Give me a second. I'll get back to that one here in just a minute. While I'm finding that, another article here. let me see. I just found this information here. Whitney.org. Whitney Museum of Art. Cameron Rowland, Life and Property, 2021. Let's see, brief blob on this. New York Police Department does not retain publicly accessible recordings of its two-way radio communications. These communications can be accessed live using a UHF radio and scanner. Due to the amount of simultaneous radio communications throughout the city, multiple scanners are necessary to receive all transmissions. Public access to the recordings of these transmissions allow these internal communications to be reviewed collectively. When Life and Property is exhibited, recordings are produced continuously each day. The prior 24 hours of recordings are made publicly accessible on the exhibitor's website. Recordings for each day of the exhibition are hosted as documentation. Yeah, there's a lot of information on that, but some pretty interesting radios here. Let me see if they have the information on that.
W0TX repeater.
All right, I'll see if I can find that here. But one last article here. POTS, Plano Telephone System at Hacker Camp, hackaday.com here. Jenny List article on January 25th. For those of us off the Atlantic coast of Europe, it's a frigid winter as their isles are lashed by continuous storms. Summer seems a very long way in the fun of EMF 2022 Hacker Camp. Let me see. This is an article about Matthew Harold. He was the force behind the public plain old telephone service network at that camp. They love to imagine a mesh of overhead wires converging on Strozier Mechanical Exchange somewhere in the field, but in a more practical move, he used an array of redundant Cisco VoIP gear and a multi-modem rack set up to provide dial-up services. Even then, there were a few hurdles to overcome, but on the field, it was definitely worth it as an array of unusual phone kit was brought along by the attendees. Favorite is the Amstrad emailer, an all-in-one phone and internet appliance from a couple of decades ago, which perhaps due to its expensive pay-as-you-go model failed commercially. So this is a talk given on setting up a telephone service in the field. So pretty cool stuff there. That's all that I had. I'll throw it out to the group. We'll throw it out for any last-minute comments, questions, check-ins. Please call now. All right, one last final call. Any last-minute comments, questions, check-ins for the Learning Net this evening? Please call now. Let's see, I might have some technical information on that second to last thing I brought up there. Give me just one more moment here. All right, I don't just at the moment. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Thank you, everyone, for checking in. Thanks for being a part of our club, w0tx.org, for more information on our club here. If you ever want to get a hold of us, let us know. We had a total of 16 check-ins this evening. Really do appreciate that. We had a variety of conversation here this evening, hearing from digital radios to, let me see, let me go back here. Some upcoming ham fests. Let me see, some other clubs. We had the swap fests coming up from the Rocky Mountain Ham Radio group. Let's see, we talked about digital radio hotspots. The digital radio, Colorado Digital.net, Digital Learning Net runs Wednesdays 7 p.m. Plenty of information on their webpage, coloradodigital.net. Talked about Meshtastic and LoRa radio and how that works with ham radio and APRS specifically. And yeah, that was about all we spoke about. So really appreciate everyone checking in here. Let me see if there's anything else. Otherwise, I will shut it down.
0, Charlie, Tango, Romeo. Ryan, Mobile, and Wiggins.
And then we had K0CTR Ryan checking in. Thank you so much for checking in there. Okay, I'll just take one last final call check-ins just for the count. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. All right, so that brought us up to 17 check-ins. Really do appreciate everyone who's been able to check into this net and help and support our club and other clubs in the hobby as always. So thank you all so much. This is K1 DBC 7.3. Next Learning Net will be next week, February 7th. So we will talk to you all then. 7.3, and I'm clear. Thanks all. You have a good evening.